Good evening. You are tuning in to AWANI Tonight with me, Cynthia Ng. The Pardons Board has decided to halve the 12-year jail sentence of convicted former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak. According to a statement from the board, Najib will be released on 28th of August 2028, and the fine imposed on him has been reduced to 50 million ringgit from the original 210 million ringgit. The board did not give a reason for reducing Najib's sentence. However, the board's statement added that if the fine is not paid, 1 year will be added to Najib's jail term and his release date will be on 23rd of August 2029. Najib was convicted of graft linked to 1MDB, from which US and Malaysian investigators estimate $4.5 billion was stolen, with more than $1 billion funneled into accounts linked to the former Prime Minister. Najib has consistently denied wrongdoing and applied for a royal pardon in August 2022, shortly after his conviction. He remains on trial in several other cases related to corruption on 1MDB. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim says the decision to reduce the sentences of Datuk Sri Najib Razak was beyond his jurisdiction. In an interview with Al Jazeera today, Anwar says he respects the decision made by the Pardons panel, chaired by the previous Yang di-Pertuan Agong.
At the same time, Datuk Sri Najib has every right to again appeal to the new king. So I think the process has to be respected, is beyond the Prime Minister of the government. And I respect the decision of the king, the then king. Now from the first we have a new king. So whatever one feels, of course, is very political. Some support, some don't. But they cannot ignore the fact that you must respect the right of anyone convicted to appeal to the Pardons Board. Now, the Pardons Board has made a decision.
Coming up later on Consider This, we explore the implications of this decision to the public as well as the ruling government. One of the guests tonight, political scientist Wong Chin Huat, weighs in on the Pardons Board decision.
So if he really wants to have a pardon, what he should do is to plead guilty in all these three cases in exchange for leniency and then seek pardon in one go. So what it means then that he wants to be a new man. Now, if that's the case, that is more acceptable. Because all over the world, we know that political elites who get convicted, often they get pardoned for the sake of either humanitarian grounds or for political reconciliation. But for that to happen, it's very important for them to show remorse, to show redemption. And so in this case, we do not know what have Najib done on the day of pardon and on the day he was convicted. If nothing happened in between here, if he still insisted that he is a victim of selective prosecution or mistrial, then his pardon sent a very wrong message. And I think that's a concern of many Malaysians.
TikTok account ownership by children under the age of 13 is among the issues considered to be raised with the management of the social media platform. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadzil says it is worrying that children in this age group have access to TikTok, despite the application's community guidelines explicitly stating that users must be 13 or older to have an account.
Fahmi said based on his observation, many primary school children, including those in his constituency in Lemah Pantai, have TikTok accounts. He believed that children should be monitored while surfing the internet, as there are some unhealthy trends spreading on social media, and children can be easily influenced. Fahmi also said that the government would consider calling TikTok's management to get an explanation on how to enforce its policies. The minister added that he would discuss with the Attorney General whether legal action against TikTok's management regarding account ownership by children, as done by other countries, is necessary.
Six out of over 130 Rohingya refugees who fled the Bidor detention center in Perak have been rearrested as at 4 p.m. today. Authorities are still searching for dozens more who fled the temporary immigration detention following a riot at the camp. Perak police said one man was killed after he was hit by a car when he tried to cross the main north-south highway while fleeing the facility. Search operations were ongoing for the remaining escapees, with over 200 personnel across various agencies mobilized to locate them. In April 2022, 582 ethnic Rohingya refugees from Myanmar escaped an immigration depot in northern Kedah, with 6 of them killed after being hit by vehicles on a highway. The Ministry of Education encourages school graduation ceremonies to be held in a simple manner. However, Minister Fadlina Siddique stresses that discussions with parents and the Parents and Teachers Association of each school are important for the graduation ceremony.
Kalau tidak ada bantahan, sebab itu saya kata asas kepada graduasi ini adalah konsultasi dengan ibu bapa. Konsultasi dengan ibu bapa ni sangat penting. Asas kepada graduasi ini, majlis graduasi ini. Jadi perbincangan, konsultasi dengan PIBG sangat penting. Jadi kena selesaikan di peringkat sekolah, dan kalau ada bantahan kena diambil pandangan lah.
Fadlina said this in response to parents' complaints regarding the organization of student graduation ceremonies at luxury hotels, which are considered burdensome.
Let's go for a quick break. Stay tuned for more.
Daulat Tuanku.
Welcome back. Bursa Malaysia recently launched an environmental, social and governance or ESG reporting platform for listed issuers to submit disclosures as per the exchange's enhanced sustainability reporting requirements. CEO Dato' Muhammad Umar Swift discusses what the platform entails and how it impacts the country's overall sustainability goals.
Designed to allow PLCs to report and meet their reporting requirements as stipulated in Bursa listing rules. It is linked to Bursa Link, which is the tool that we use. So it's really to make things easier for PLCs, seamless if you like. It was also, when we launched the platform, we also introduced illustrative Sustainable Reporting Guide, or ISR. We like acronyms. And ISR is actually a series of resources, video learning, where we actually share with PLCs steps and what they can do and actually start their journey towards a better, more sustainable future. We have mandated 23 disclosure points, objective disclosure points for sustainability, and it's designed to allow investors, key stakeholders and PLC's customers to make informed decisions. So the platform that we have launched is actually designed to allow PLCs to report.
Bursa Malaysia will also be launching the Centralized Sustainability Intelligence or CSI platform this year for public listed companies and non-listed SMEs to assess their carbon emission impact.
The CSI in itself is designed to assist companies in measuring their carbon footprint. It's a suite of basic products. Now, in itself, it is separate from the reporting piece. So it provides the data, allowing companies to begin to aggregate the data sets. More importantly, to look at their Scope 1, Scope 2, Scope 3 emissions. Now, there is a truism, what gets measured gets done. And so what we're looking at to do as a catalyst, an action point, to allow companies to begin to properly assess their carbon footprint on their journey to sustainability. But more importantly, it begins to drive the greening of supply chains. One of the key as a trading nation, some 44% of the countries we trade to have NDC targets and have objectives around decarbonising their economies. And as what we'll see as we trade, our trading partners will begin to ask us to show our credentials. And this is a way of beginning to measure and provide tools to allow us to measure our credentials so we can continue to trade.
According to Umar, efforts taken by public listed companies to make their supply chain more green will encourage other businesses, including SMEs, to follow suit. This will bring growth to Malaysian companies and create new job opportunities for all.
We anticipate PLCs, as they begin to green their supply chains, and their supply chains comprise of small companies, larger companies, even other listed companies, that they will require data sets, and that is the call to action for these trading partners of the PLCs to begin to calculate. But what we're also doing is working with partner banks to provide green financing and providing incentives to encourage better behaviour. So if you like, for PLCs, we have mandated disclosure that requires a body of work, but that's been requested by investors and also customers of the PLCs. As they begin to collect that data, they will encompass their supply chain, which will include other PLCs, large companies and small companies. And we'll work in building capacity. We're particularly focused with working people such as SME Corp, UN, Global Compact, Malaysia and Brunei, to actually bring, if you like, everyone along on that journey. Our philosophy is not is very inclusive, because at the end of the day, we recognise the key role that SMEs play in supply chain, and more importantly, in providing employment to Malaysians. The most important piece is to begin the measurement. As we begin the measurement, it's the call to action. What's exciting as we engage PLCs, that they see the opportunity that it brings to new markets and new opportunities for employment and growth for Malaysian corporations. And that's what excites us, because at the end of the day, Bursa Malaysia is really about growing value and creating opportunities.
Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi says his country will not start a war, but will respond strongly to anyone who tries to bully it. His comments came after days of speculation about how Washington might retaliate after 3 American soldiers were killed last week in a drone attack on their base in Jordan by an Iranian-backed group. Iran has denied any involvement in the strike, but the US has attributed the attack to the Islamic resistance in Iraq, a group it claims is supported by Iran. According to US CBS News citing officials, Washington has approved plans for a series of strikes on Iranian targets in Syria and Iraq. President Joe Biden has been under mounting pressure from Republican lawmakers to strike targets on Iranian soil. While the US has repeatedly pledged to respond to the drone attack, Biden and other defense officials have said Washington is not seeking a wider war with Iran or an escalation of tensions in the region. Instagram Threads, Meta's text-based app, now has more than 130 million monthly active users. During Meta's earnings conference call, CEO Mark Zuckerberg says that Threads is growing steadily and noted that the app now has more people actively using it today than it did during its initial launch peak.
Introduced last July, Threads quickly broke the record as the most downloaded app ever, snagging more than 100 million users in less than a week. But following the initial surge, users started to fall. In the months that followed, Meta made efforts to improve Threads, with features such as full website access, keyboard searching, and hashtags. Meta's fourth quarter revenue rose 25% to $40.1 billion, beating expectations as the online advertising market continued to recover. The company also announced its first ever dividend payment of 50 cents per share to investors. Meta said it had 3.98 billion monthly active users across its family of apps, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger at the end of 2023, up 6% year-on-year.
That wraps up AWANI Tonight. I'm Cynthia Ng. Thank you for watching and good night.